Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. We got some cold weather here in Texas right now. I've been running around. We got a freeze warning coming pretty soon. Things are pretty good. I thought I'd talk today about pricing real estate to sell. I have 2 listings I just put on the market, and I'm happy to report it looks like I priced them right. A lot of people make the mistake of asking too much, or you want to price them right. If you price them right, then you may get somebody may bid it up a little bit, or they'll take you down a little bit. So I always try to price property for what I'm willing to sell it for. It's just the best strategy because it just gets you to where you want to be the quickest. And give you an example. I'll share some stuff with you. So hang out, and I'll be right back. All right, so let me show you a little bit here, and I'm being a little cryptic here, but so I've got this property here. I just listed 2 this weekend, and this one here I listed for $409. Now, if this was 6 months ago and I had it fixed up to the degree that I have it fixed up right now, I would have put it on the market for probably $449, maybe $459. But I realize real estate's taken a hit. I was hoping I'd make $120,000, $130,000 on this house. I have a couple in this neighborhood. I've actually bought 12 in this neighborhood. But on this particular one, and I'm keeping the address off, but this is actually it. You can actually see it. This is it. And I had it staged, which is something I urge you to do. Let me get my fat head out of the way here. Let me see if I can move myself out of here a little bit. I'll move myself over here. So this property, and we just had another rate increase, so I wasn't loving that. But I put this one on the market, and in the low 4s. I almost was going to put it at $399, but I put it in the low 4s, and somebody made an offer on it. They had some concessions I wasn't crazy about, but I thought, what the hell? I was almost going to sell it for $399 anyways. Then another offer came in when they found out that I was about, getting close to taking an offer. They came back and they actually added another $5,000. And they're a stronger buyer, shorter fuse, more money down, a more sure thing. Looks really good, actually. So I went ahead and I said I took it. So I'm waiting for those documents to come in right now. I'm going to sign it. And now you look, this one here, it's a good-looking place. It's a good-looking house. I cleaned it up. I put new cabinets inside of this house, actually, new floors. I only paid about $300,000 for it, maybe $303, maybe just actually under $300. And I put probably $40,000, new kitchen cabinets, new countertops. There you can see right there. New floors, painted it, put in windows. So I probably right at there about $40,000, maybe 50 at the most. Little holding costs, probably 50. But I planned on making about $100,000. But see, this is the thing, and this is what you learn in my book. If you don't have my book, get my book. Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. You've got to buy under market. This is why I only buy property under market when I buy it. That's my hedge against times like this. Now, even though we're getting hammered right now on prices, I'm still going to make at least 50. That's after real estate agent commissions. I'm still going to make 50, and so that to me, this is like, I'm happy with it. I would rather make 100, but that's how it goes. You gotta be realistic with your pricing, and it doesn't matter whether you're going to lose money or not. You have to be realistic, because if you don't price your property properly, it doesn't matter that things have changed a lot, and you could have shoulda, woulda, sold, 6, 8 months ago. It doesn't really matter because you got to live in the present. And so I'm real happy because I priced this thing right, and I'm going to get full price, maybe even $5,000 more, it looks like. And it's going to be a quick close, and nothing's sold till it's sold. But that's what you have to do. And if any of you got any questions on anything, just go ahead and fire away. I'm here to answer questions, and I'll do my best. So I have another one around the corner from this. I also put up for sale, and I put it up for about $40,000 less than this one, and it's about 100 square feet smaller. 200 square feet smaller, so it should be less, and it should be about that much less. And that one had one issue. It's kind of stinky. Remember the Red Rum Murder House? That's what I'm talking about. It was pretty gross inside as far as a smoker had been in there for a long time, and so it's super clean. I'll show you that one too. Let me show you that one if I can figure out how to get you there. This one right here. Also, this is also something to look at. You'll see that Zillow is not correct. Zillow had this property at $329, the one that I just sold for $409. Okay, so this is the one. If you looked at some of the videos, and I got other videos coming out on this. I just cleaned this up. This has got a new paint job. I'm trying to show you better here. That's in the other house. Let me see. There you go. This is the house. You see that? And I just repainted it. Inside, I actually poured the living room flush. Inside, it has a fireplace, new floors. The cabinets. Wait a minute. Is this mine? Oh yeah, this is mine. I redid the cabinets. I thought those cabinets looked too new to be mine, to be honest. But these ones I refurbished. Which, Liam, if you're out there, see, you can clean these things up. What is going on here? I'm not seeing anybody's. I can't see anybody in the chat here, and I don't know why. Anyways, so price it right, and you'll get some bites on it. The last thing you want to do is you price it too high. People think, oh, if I price it too high. If you want a chance pricing a property too high, this is what you do. If you feel like you got a chance, so you price it a little higher, at what you hope it sells for, what you do is you got to make sure that the agent that lists it, make sure that they put in the comments, the seller says, take all offers. In other words, you better indicate that you're soft, because if you don't indicate that you're soft on the price when you put a high price on it, then people are just going to go, forget it. There's too many other things on the market. And then when you lower the price, they're just going to, I already saw that one, and they just pass it by like, they're not going to care. And so it's best to price it right, or maybe just a little bit under market, but then otherwise, and by the way, take a look at this. I want you to see, these are some little accents I did that don't cost much. This is like a $200 little fire pit. It's a rock. It's got a steel ring that drops inside. Maybe $500 worth of gravel. The gravel's gotten real expensive, by the way. This is like a colored gravel, kind of gray, and a little metal trim around here to make a little fire pit area in the backyard. Anyways, again, and now this one here, I'm not going to make much money on this one at all. I paid $300. I figured I'd sell it for about $400. I don't think I'm going to sell it for $400. I think I'm going to sell it for more like $369. I put two new. Well, I redid the tile, and I probably spent $20,000 on this thing. So and I got it at 369. Take off some real estate fees. You know, I'll probably make 25 grand on here. So again, this is because I bought it right. You know, people say, Tom, how do you buy stuff 35% under market? Listen, I don't buy anything. If I can't get 35% off, I'm not going to buy it, period. And at the time when I bought it, it was 35% off. But things have changed very quickly in the last 4 or 5 months. But I'm still going to make money. And that's the main thing. And that's what I tell you. You can't. It's called leapfrogging. There's a chapter in my book on leapfrogging. And this is exactly what I did. I'm pricing it for what I think the price will be in a couple months anyways. That way, you know, I blow past my competition. I'm cheaper than everybody right now. I get mine sold. They'll be lowering their price in a few months after my deal's closed. Okay, someone wrote a question here. Pete, excuse me for being off topic. Yeah, there's no set topic here, buddy. Have you ever replaced a built-up asphalt roof on a commercial property? Built-up asphalt? Yes. There's a couple different ways. It just depends. Look, when you got a flat roof, a lot of people don't realize it's not flat like it's going to run over the edge. It's like a bowl. You know, a flat roof is really like a bowl around drains. Now, unless the exception to that is if you have scuppers on the outside, then you take the water to those scuppers so that it goes down the downspouts. And I'll tell you something, just a neat little trick. I don't have the whiteboard working right now, but you know, when you're testing roofs, it's really a good idea. You can go up there when you have a typical flat roof with a drain. You can plug the drain, pour water in there, and just keep pouring, increase the sized concentric circles, and then wait 30 minutes, and then you can kind of determine where the leaks are. And by keeping increasing that puddle, you'll be able to determine somewhat where the water's coming from if you're going back to diagnose and find a leak. Anyhow, that's off topic too. But what else? Hey, Cudham, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, but I thought this is cool because I wanted you to see this because these are two properties that I've bought. One a few months ago, one a year ago, and this is what I do well. Is I buy under market, but this is why it doesn't matter. I'm realistic. When I go to sell it, if I have to lose money on one of these, I will do it. If I lose money on both of them, I'll do it. I'm getting rid of them because I want the cash. I want the cash because I see opportunities in the future, and that's just where I'm at. Pete wrote, what kind of roof material would you put on a 7,000, it doesn't really matter, on 7,000 square foot strip mall? When so you got a little strip center, a little strip, like, what is it? Maybe 50 feet deep by, whatever, 120 feet wide, something like that. Pete, is that what you got? I mean, it just depends on what you're dealing with. I mean, I've got strip centers that have metal roofs. I mean, I'm not going to put anything on those. I'm just going to tighten down the screws or replace the screws, with make sure the rubber washer's good so that it seals. You kind of usually replace it with what you got. I mean, you can get those, if you've got a gravel roof, you can scrape all that crap off clean, and then they have this bitumen, I don't know, I've done all kinds of roofs. There's stuff called Durbagum a long time ago, and it's foil backed. It's about, I don't know, that thick. And that stuff, we would actually torch it down as we would roll it, and then just do one after another after another. Now, I loved it because it was a very, very thick, rubbery goop, tar basically. And you would heat that up, and it would just seal everything underneath it. And then on the back, it was almost like a foil back, but tougher than foil. And it would reflect the heat off, the water would shear off, but you got to have good fall to wherever you're going either way. But, yeah, I don't think you can get away with it there, Pete, but the best roof you can possibly get and put in is really limited only to government, I think, now. And that's a coal tar pitch, coal, C-O-A-L, coal tar pitch. And it's an amazing roof because if you can just imagine, you're basically pouring this coal tar pitch, They heat it up. It's kind of toxic. That's why I think they outlaw it. But one of the things, the reason I think the government outlaws it, because the government lets it be put on their buildings, but they don't let guys like me, investors like me, we're not allowed to get it done. You can't do it here in Texas anyways. And I think it's because the stuff lasts forever. I mean, you could put an axe on the roof, and the first warm day, it would just like self-heal. It'd be over with. So it's amazing stuff. Hey, Jorge, how you doing, buddy? Glad you're in here as well. So what are you guys worried about? Are there anything? Are you guys selling anything, or is there anything you're concerned about? We can jump around here. Here, I'll take you in. I got to show you something. This is cool. So look, I want you to see this because I'm going to be doing some kind of more like extreme, just total immersion courses. People have been doing really, really well in my mentorship. And by the way, on the mentorship, here, let me plug that, and then I'll come right back. If I can find my button that does this. Hang on, we'll be right back.
Don't stop and listen. Time is on a mission to eliminate all the snake oil and the fake gurus that fake y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip anything. USA, go.
Hey, Pete, so I was reading also, Pete said he just bought this property. He's got, it looks like you've got a cap rate of damn near 7.75, 5-year fixed, but got priced down to accommodate. Cool. Started in April at 4.5%. I assume that's, are you saying you got the rate at 4.5% because you bought it back in April, or are you saying that's what it was penciling? You raised it. Anyways, that's, you know what? 8% isn't. If you got a 4.5 rate. Oh, you bought it at a 7 3/4 rate. That concerns me. That's a lot, buddy. I don't think. Unless you got like a 10 cap. I would be a little concerned on that one. But hey, if you got it, you got to make it work. Is it already full? Do you have people in there? Can you raise the rents? Okay, you got a 9.5 cap. Well, you can live with that. I generally like a little more margin than that. It probably isn't something I would have bought, but I hope you can raise the rents. But anyways, he says he's got a 9.5 cap, but I don't know why you got to pay 7 3/4%. That's outrageous. I mean, I could borrow money still at 6 on. I mean, I haven't even looked, but the last one I got was 5 1/4. Rates went up 0.5 point, so I wouldn't doubt if I could still get the same rate. But anyways, congrats on your purchase, and I hope just a lot of times on roofs. Let me just say something. You got to have a good roof, but you can do a lot of patching. I got a handful of roofs that could probably do with being replaced, but I'll spend $5,000 a year patching them because I don't want to spend $200 on a new roof, and that's why I do it. So it's worth it to me. But let me tell you about this. This is a real estate barbell. And I've got a neat video coming in here. And by the way, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. Look, I'm not the slickest presentation person here, but I have made tens of millions of dollars, and over my lifetime, I've made a lot of deals. In fact, this actually behind me, which you see, this isn't even all my property, but this does represent my real estate barbell. So, and I'll explain this because I think this is a pretty decent graphic to do so. Basically, with a real estate barbell, you got your home, and then you start to buy properties around your home because that's the area that you most commonly frequent. So I buy up properties around my home, and then, like in my case, I'm a self-employed guy. I have an office, so I bought an office, or whatever you want to call your office or your work. I mean, I've been doing it even when I worked when I had a cabinet shop, 30, 40 years ago, I bought around my cabinet shop. But this is my current barbell in the area that I live. I got about 180,000 square feet of rentals, and they do beautifully. Then I've got, a certain amount of square footage of houses, probably going down to about 20,000 right now, but I keep in my, to flip, to rotate. But I really have sold everything, well, with these two properties, and I got two more I'm selling. That's roughly 10,000 square feet of houses. So I'll be down. My inventory for selling is going to be gone with these last four that I sell. So I'm looking for property right now, and but I'm really enjoying this time because I'm 100% occupied. I've got my properties that I want to get sold, or it looks like I've got them all sold. I still have one, but I'll cut the price, whatever I got to do. It's going to be gone either way. But so buying around my home, these represent apartment buildings that you see here in green. These represent industrial buildings that you see in orange. I have quite a few of those. These are big buildings too. And then commercial buildings. You see these yellow buildings here? These are commercial buildings. And this is an accumulation over, in buying and selling. Some of these has been 30 years. But it's a fantastic story with a lot of these different buildings. I've made money so many different ways. And, I get hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in, rental income. And, I get enough money, I can buy a house every month if I want. But that's the beauty of this. And I really would like people to learn more about this. And that's why I tell you, get my book. There's my book right there. Put it right on my forehead. Get the book, start there. And then, if it seems promising to you, then or it appeals to you, then go to FlipAnythingUSA.com, and you can take the mentorship, and you can get into what's going to be coming up, which is called the Extreme, just total immersion, and where you will fly out here, and I will take you by each and every one of these properties, and I will show you the pros and cons of all the different types of real estate that's out there, that's in your area, that I've done, and why. Give you a lot of tips and tricks that you ain't going to learn any other way. There's no book on it. There's nobody else. I don't think anybody else can even do what I'm doing right here. Not to the degree and not to the way that it's most important for the beginning investor, right? Because I still buy houses and sell houses that a beginning investor would buy. Like this one I'm selling for, these two that I'm selling right now for, $359,000 and $400,000. That's stuff that you guys, I'm sure, is within your range. Even if you're on the smaller side. Anyways, so here's, like I said, this house is here. What else can I show you? There's a couple things I wanted to show you also. So that's my barbell there. If you got questions on that, we can talk about that. Again, this is, you can see when I sell these houses, this is all made up. This is all, I pay like $1,000 or $1,200 for somebody to come out here and put all this furniture on the floor and hang these pictures on the wall and make it look cool and lived in. All this soap, there's soap on the counter. This is all Hollywood, right? In other words, it's all a prop. All this stuff back here, these pictures you see above Miguel's head there and this table, none of that's mine. That's bar or rented furniture, and that's just so that people come in and they go, oh, some people can't picture everything and they need a little help. And so it's an aid in getting it sold. Even this, I didn't have to buy this fridge. I just paid $1,200 for this. This is a brand new flush mount refrigerator, but it's cabinet depth. See how it's just barely deeper than the cabinet itself? That's by design. Most refrigerators are going to stick way out here, and they look weird and ugly when they stick so far out. But that's a good working fridge. That's about what you need. You need the depth. But I put in the flush, cool looking thing because I know it makes everything look better. And that's what I'm about now. And I include the fridge when I sell it. If they ask for it, if they don't, I keep it. But that's what's going on. Anybody got any questions about anything? Pete says, God bless. Would not be here without absorbing your experience. Many thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you, Pete. I'm glad I can help. Fully rented, all below market, but only a couple expiring in the next 2 years. That's okay. You'll raise them up. Rents haven't really gone down. That's one thing, the values have gone down because the interest rates have gone up. It costs you more to own a property today. And for the people leasing, it's kind of the same for them. But the values are going to go down. And, it's just a fact. And it doesn't really matter. Look, I don't care if my portfolio drops 30% in value. It doesn't really matter to me. If my cash flow is the same, and it is, because mine's mostly commercial industrial properties, I don't care. It doesn't matter if I got an asset that, in fact, it's funny, if you mark things to value, then it means my cap rate technically is going up for what the value is. But the problem is when somebody goes to buy a property from me, if you go to sell your industrial or commercial property, they cost 2 or 3% more. So the interest is substantial enough that it all comes out of the price, folks. There's no hiding. There's no getting around it. The price goes down. That's just how it goes. Let me see what other pictures I got here. Oh yeah. Let me show you this. This is cool. So look at this. You got an upcoming video that's really cool, and it's in the process now. See this? This is Looter's Rock. This is expensive. And I got another. If you get a chance, go watch the last video I showed, the quarry video. I went back out to the quarry again, and I'm doing kind of a cool little treatment. It's kind of like a half horseshoe curve going in the backyard of one of my properties. And anyways, but I chose this. These are what you call boulders. These are 700 pounds is a tiny one. I don't even think there's a 700. Maybe this little tiny guy, maybe that's 700 pounds. But most of this stuff weighs, a ton or at least, 1,500 pounds. And, but it's a cool look. I mean, these are, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit and you'll see, you can see they're kind of like geodes and geode, what do you think it's a geode, inside a little bit. So you got some cool look. That's what will be the finished side on this. And my wall is probably going to stack 3 high in a curve. And out of the quarry, they were nice enough to stack the stuff up so I could see it. It's pretty interesting. And, if you look at that, you'll see in the video I kind of explained it. They go out there. That limestone is like 60 feet deep. I mean, imagine a block of solid concrete, 60 feet deep and 100 miles wide and long. I mean, that's kind of what they're dealing with. And so they go in there and they just drop a saw in there and they start cutting it up like brownies at the same depth. And then they got a machine that goes in and then breaks these things loose and pulls out these giant bricks that are basically, 4 foot by 2.5 feet thick by, 10, 11 feet long. And then they cut those up into the finished stuff that, we all use for landscaping. Anyways, this is different. This is custom cooler. This comes from a different part. They actually brought this in. But normally, like this white stuff that you see out here in the background, this stuff's about 140 a ton. This stuff's 300 a ton. I got 24 ton coming for my little backyard treatment, and that's just the start. I'm probably going to go through 100 ton. But that was $7,500 just for that, just for what you see right there. There's a little bit more off to the left, but that's roughly $7,000 worth, roughly 24 ton. What else? But I'm kind of excited about that. All right. Anybody want to look at anything else? How about LoopNet? All right. I think we've been talking long enough. All right. Hey, so look, if you just got here, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to get in the mentorship, start with the book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. Get my book. You'll learn a ton. I've been doing this 40 years, made lots of money, and you can too. And you can start early. I started at 19 years old. Don't let anybody tell you can't do anything. You can. I mean, I dropped out of high school and went to work. I wanted to make money, and I did. And by the time some of the people I knew that went to college got out of college, I was already damn near a millionaire. So that's the kind of stuff that you can happen. Got an upcoming interview, new one with Rich Ferradino. He's I mean, everything's gone so beautifully. I actually heard one of the guys that you see quite often on YouTube, and he was talking about how, oh, listen, if you're going to be out there and you're showing people how to do things, a bunch of people are going to be disappointed. I'm happy to say I don't have anybody disappointed with me or that's taken my class. I haven't seen anybody fail. I haven't seen anybody get burned. Nobody's bought wrong, and it's the ones that have that are in my class, they did it before they got to me, but I'm really, really happy to report that everybody in my class, they bought their properties, they sold their properties, they made their profits, and we even have a couple new purchases here just recently. They're going to make more money, and now they're starting they're kind of following my footsteps in turning these residential properties, and now, my mentees, they're starting to buy commercial retail properties, and I love retail. I love industrial, and they're buying the same thing, and now they're building their portfolio. They're building their barbell like I showed you earlier, and it's a very cool thing, and I just want you to know anybody can do it. When I say anybody, I don't mean if you're a nut, maybe not for you, but if you got common sense and you got a good work ethic, you'll clean up. It's really sad right now. I've got more than 100 tenants, various size buildings. One of my tenants, he's got a 16,000 square foot building that he rents for me. Everybody has the same complaint. We can't find any good help. They can't find. I don't care if there's somebody in a food trailer and they're willing to pay somebody $25 an hour, or they're in the high tech field and they got people that they're paying $50 an hour or $60 an hour. Nobody can find good help. I don't know where the money's coming from, that these guys don't need to work, or maybe they've just given up on life. I don't know what it is, but listen, if you're out there working and hustling, believe me, it's like you're among sheep. You're the wolf. You can go out there and just pounce and eat and make a ton of money, because you've got so many people that are not working. They're destroying their credit. They're not building their they're not even, they're just not doing anything. They're not thinking about their future at all. And so, people that do work hard and care about their credit, you're going to be like a rock star to the banks, and you're going to make a shitload of money. And that's how it should be. So, let's see. Somebody else wrote here, if the markets go down and the price continues to drop, and I am holding multiple rehab properties where I will lose money if I continue, should I just give the properties back to the lender? Well, you're going to destroy your credit. What you should do, if you don't have my book, Properties, get my book right now. Seriously, get this. Go get it on Kindle. You can be reading it in a couple minutes, and just skip to chapter. I'll just read it to you. Sure, I'll just read it to you. Listen, I'm very, there's no fluff in my book. Everything is like just action. Do this, do this. Let me see here real quick, and I think I'll read this to you. So this is called leapfrogging, right? Chapter 27. Let me take you there. And I will explain what leapfrogging is here as well. And again, guys, ask some questions here. Or those of you that are in the class, you can tell them what leapfrogging is while I read it. Okay, here we go, leapfrogging. So when I use the term leapfrogging, I use it for getting ahead of what's to come. And I'll explain. In other words, I'm leapfrogging to what is going to happen in the future. It could be months ahead, and that's what I do. So here's a flashback. In my book, I have a lot of things called flashbacks, where I explain what actually happened in a certain event. So this is a flashback. An agent put up a property for auction with a true value of $225,000 and a starting bid of $100,000. Because I understand the market so well, after 35 years of working in the field of real estate, I knew the bidding would slowly go up to 110, then 120, and so on, till it finally reached that true value by the end of the day. I could sit there all day paying full value. I could sit there all day and end up paying full value because I'd take turns with everybody all day till it got to the max. But what I do instead is I jump ahead. So I'll say, well, everybody's at 110, 120, and we're talking about a slow bid, not like an auctioneer. I jump ahead and I say, listen, these guys are at 110, 120. I'll give you 160 right now. I'll give you 160,000 right now, and you just close the bid. Close it. Stop taking anything. And the guy said, well, let me call the owner. Call the owner. And he actually, what he said is, he said, well, email it to me. I said, okay. And I said, what's your email? And I did it while I was standing there talking to him. And then I said, tell the owner, bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. Let's make this thing happen. And so sure enough, he got it. He met the owner about an hour later. Now maybe the bidding's at 120, 125. He said, man, we better take this. Of course, I said, I'm leaving end of the day, which probably wasn't true, but I gave him a sense of urgency. I said, we got to do this now. I need to know right now. And so he said, bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And he said, I'll take it. He took it, and we made a deal. We got it signed. And by the end of the day, people were screaming because they were willing to pay $50,000 more than I did, or even more. And so they're saying, are you sure you're going to buy it? Are you sure you're going to buy it? I said, this thing's done. Believe me, we're closing. And I closed it very quickly. And I resold that house for, I don't know, $100,000 more than I paid for it at least. But that's the stuff that can happen. Yeah, Ty wrote, you have said in one of your videos, several of your mentees are real estate millionaires. Is this realized or unrealized? It's both. It's both, Ty. I've got guys that bought properties, resold them, made over $1 million. You'll see, Ty. Watch this next. Watch, Rich. You're going to see a video coming out real soon. Ty, are you in my mailing list? Just write. You know what? This will be a treat for you guys that are watching. Write me, Tom at FlipAnythingUSA.com. I'll send you a link to the video. It's not even out yet. And you'll see. But I've got guys that have made millions in cash, okay, and that's a fair question. And I've got other guys that have made millions in equity. And so when a guy buys a property, and he now has $60,000 more a year coming in than the property had previously had coming in, he added $1 million value. That's 6% cap rate, roughly on something like that. Some of them add more. I think one of the guys, Ken Bucho, I think he added $72,000 a year income to his income. Okay, and that's worth about $1 million. If that doesn't answer your question. But anyways, I got people that have most of it's realized cash, just to your answer. But some of them basically, like this guy, actually Rich, he made over $1 million cash, and now he's put that in, and now he owns 2 retail buildings, 2 industrial buildings. I think he paid $2.3 million. He figures they're worth about $3 million. But see, he only owes about $1.3 million on $3 million worth of stuff. So he's got $1.7 million working for him, making him, over like about $150,000 a year now. It's quite a dramatic change for somebody to do that who's only been in my mentorship since from a year ago July. So a year and 3 months or something like that. And so like I say, I'm really, really proud of my students. I have smart people, and listen. You go to my page. Let me just go ahead and pull this up. When you go to FlipAnythingUSA, this is my website. You go in here, and the first thing you do is you take the mentorship survey. And listen, 2023 could be a huge change for everybody. Make tons of money. You're going to be on the right track. You're not going to look at these folks over here, Tina here, Ken. Listen to these people's stories. It's really awesome. And Liam there, he made $550,000 cash, and that's the stuff that's out there. That's what can happen. What's cool is I go back and I look at. I've done over 100 meetings like this now. And I see people in there asking the most basic questions, and now I see them 10 months later, and they sound like pros. They know more than most of the fake gurus that you see, or more than the gurus that you see out there on YouTube. They're doing very, very well. And they've got experiences now that a lot of people have never had. So, anyways, but guys, if you don't have any questions, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm getting hungry. And I'm ready for a glass of wine. We got a freeze warning coming in, so I've been cracking valves and having the people that work for me, make sure everybody's cracking valves. making sure the water's running. I don't want to have any water breaks. I had a miserable experience last year. It got really cold, and the electricity went out, which really complicated things. Had no heat to combat it. So, anyways, you guys, thanks for hanging out and watching again. Please hit that subscribe button, and we're going to talk about anything in the future. But do write me at tom@FlipAnythingUSA.com, and I'll send you a link, and you can watch that video. You particularly T. Hyslop. I think I said that right. Take care.